Today we are going to be talking about changing a mixed number into an improper fraction, which is also called a fraction larger than 1. Now, understanding the difference between mixed numbers and improper fractions. So mixed numbers has both a whole number and a fraction. As we look at this example here, in the red, you have the whole number, and then on the top of the fraction, you have the numerator and your denominator. Okay, so you have all the parts of it. You have the whole number and you have the fraction. Remember, the denominator, the one on the bottom, tells you how many pieces that are required to make a whole. The numerator, the top piece, tells you how many pieces you have, and then the whole number is how many completed pieces that we have. Meaning if I had 3 over 3, that is one whole. Okay, now to give you a visual of a mixed number. Okay, so we have 4 wholes, which is the complete fraction there, and then you have your numerator, denominator. So as you look over here to the gray, okay, let me get this pen up. Right here, you have all 3 of them boxes filled in. I've broken it up into pieces here, that way you can see the white right here separates each of those. So all 3 boxes are filled in. So that would be 3 over 3. That counts as one whole. Okay, so that's one of my 4. All 3 here are filled in. That's another 3 over 3, which is a whole. It's hard to write the numbers with my mouse. All 3 are filled in. All 3 are filled in. Okay, so we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 4 complete pieces. Okay, that is how we got, draw my little squiggly arrow there, to the 4. That's how I got my 4 wholes. Now, as I come down here and look at the bottom piece, okay, only 2 of the 3 are shaded. That's how I get my 2 right there. Okay, because only 2 of the 3. Remember, it requires 3 pieces to equal a whole, but I only have 2 of those 3 pieces. So looking at all of these, I have 4 complete fractions. Okay, they're all 4 of them are complete. That's my whole number. And then I have 2 out of 3, which is my fraction part. So my mixed number here would be 4 2/3. Now the improper fraction. Okay, remember that's a fraction larger than 1. You may hear that in the class. Your teacher may call it that. Now your numerator and your denominator. Remember, the numerator is how many pieces we have. The denominator, how many pieces required to make a whole. The improper fraction is telling you that the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, as we look at this right here, 14 is larger than 3. Okay. Now, how does that look as a visual? I still have all the boxes, the gray ones. Okay, but instead of counting any of the whole pieces, now I'm just going to count all the grays. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 shaded in boxes. Okay, and still, it still requires 3 to be a whole. This is just how many total I have that are shaded in. Okay, so I have 14 over 3. It's the same as the mixed fraction, but now it's written as an improper. Now, how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction? Okay, now hopefully this don't get too confusing. I've used some letters to help you understand where the pieces are. The W is what I'm considering my whole number. The N is the numerator, D is the denominator. The reason for this little formula here that I'm going to show you is that way you can replace the numbers. Okay, so to change it from a mixed number into an improper, you have D times W plus N. Don't let the letters confuse you. Those will represent numbers here shortly. Remember, the D is the denominator. You multiply that by the whole number, and then you add the numerator. Now, a lot of times people get confused about the denominator staying on the bottom. Make sure you leave the denominator where it's at. You just change the numerator by doing those steps right there. Now I'm going to leave this formula up top, and I'm going to give you an example of how to change the mixed number into an improper. Okay, we have 4 2/3. Remember, the denominator, which is 3, whole number 4, numerator 2. So what will that look like using that formula? All right, so our denominator is 3. Okay, see how that matches up right there? Then you got the multiplication sign. Our whole number, which is 4, is right here. Now we have our addition sign, and then we have our numerator right here, which is 2. Okay, try to draw that with my mouse. There it is. Remember, I just left my denominator alone. That's why the 3 stays on the bottom. I've left it alone. Now, using order of operations, you go with the steps. So you would multiply 3 times 4. Okay, the denominator times the whole number. That's how I got 12 right here. Okay, that is the first step. Now you still have 12 plus 2. The denominator is staying the same. The next step is to add the 2 to the 12. 2 plus 12 gives you 14. That is how I got 14 over 3. Okay. Still leaving the formula up top. One more example. Okay, I have 1 4/5. All right, so our denominator is 5. Remember, denominator is the bottom number. That's why it's here, looking at your formula. There it is. The W represents the whole number. Right here is my whole number, which is 1. And then your 4 is your numerator, okay, the N. Remember to leave the denominator at the bottom the same. You have 5. Now, following the steps of that, 5 times 1, remember that is multiplication, that is not addition. Too often, students will go 5 plus 1, they would get 6 right there, and 6 plus 4 is 10. That is incorrect. That is multiplication. So 5 times 1, as this comes up, is 5. Okay, so that's where that 5 comes from, 5 times 1. Then you have the plus 4 still, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. We leave the denominator at 5, and the improper fraction, or fraction larger than 1, is 9 over 5. So here's you a chance to try a few of these problems on your own. Okay, so you can pause the video and try to work these. I've left the formula up top as the previous slides. Go through the steps, try it on your own, and then compare your answers. Okay, so for the first one, 3 1/2, written as an improper fraction, or a fraction larger than 1, is 7 over 2. Remember, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So, I'm going to erase that. Didn't mean to put the 3 there. There we go. So, 2 times 3 plus 1. And I may even have it come up here shortly. I forgot how I did the slides. And you still write that over 2. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, and that's how you get your 7. Okay. So now looking at this one right here, 3 times 5 plus 1 equals 16, because 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. That's how you get your 16. Leave your denominator the same, and you have 16 over 3. Okay, this will be the next section of changing an improper fraction into a mixed number, but I will stop it here, and hopefully that is a little bit of help for you all learning how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction. For an improper fraction into a mixed number, you go in reverse. You will have to divide with those. Thanks for stopping by.